Hello, everyone. I am so pleased for those of you who are able to attend live, and for those that are watching the recording. I hope that you are ready to give yourself some time, quiet down the distractions, see if you can just take this little bit of time to give yourself the gift of learning some great new tips that, yes, they'll help you for these next few weeks, but really, these are some good stress management tips for the whole year. So I'm hoping that you are ready to do some learning, and I'm going to get started right away. For those of you that joined me live and on time, I want to make sure that I'm being mindful of your time. This is not a long presentation, but I do have a lot to share, so I want to get right into it with you. All right, let's see. We are recording. I always have to make sure I'm doing that. And I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. All right. Oh, you had to see my, oh no, I didn't need to share that. Hold on. I want to share my presentation. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, all of the technical part is done, which is always where I get the most nervous about doing any presentation. If you had the opportunity to download and print this action guide, please take that out with you. And if you didn't, do not worry about that. I do want to give you just a moment, though, to get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, because I do have a lot to share. And it's one thing to learn things, and then you think, wait, what was that tip? What was that way? What was that breathing technique? What was that to don't list things she talked about? If you take some good notes here, you're more apt to take these tips and bring them into your life. So the idea is make this time useful by taking the notes that you will need to make this time that you're dedicating right now benefit you over these next few weeks and beyond. So I'll pause just a moment. I'm serious. Go get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. This is worth it. All right, excellent. So now I want to, let's see if I can close this down. Fantastic. So I want to move on here. So if you don't have your action guide, again, not a problem. A piece of paper and a pen or pencil would be lovely for you to have and be able to take some notes so that you can take your learning into your life today. So before we begin, I want you to start at the end. I want you to stop right now for a moment and consider, what do you want to remember most about this holiday season? When it is January, what is it that you want to say this holiday season meant to you? What were the highlights for you? So take a moment, and on the back of your action guide or on your piece of paper, just stop for a moment and consider, January is here. What do you want to have remembered from this holiday season? Let's start at the end. All right, I'll take a moment right now. Just take a moment to jot that down. So when you stop and consider how you want to feel in January, that will help dictate what you do in December. And if you always have that end goal in mind, that how do I want to feel about these holidays, how I spent my time, how I spent my energy, how I spent my resources, that will help guide your actions over these next few weeks. And writing it down is key. If you've been a client of mine, or you have attended any of my workshops, or are on my Facebook group, the Positive Energy Insiders, you've heard me talk about the importance of writing things down. It sends your brain a signal. So please, if you're just hopping in now, take a moment and consider, what do you want to remember about this holiday season, and jot that down. All right. I want to start by sharing that I really feel strongly that the greatest gift that you can give every single person on your gift list is you. You in your healthiest, happiest possible state that you can be in during this holiday season. So I see people rushing through this season, focused on things that really don't align with their values, but they feel they have to do. And then the holiday comes and they are drained, or they have a cold, or they came down with something, or they wrenched their back or their neck. Has this happened to you, perhaps? And they are just not feeling their very best when it comes to the holiday, the actual holiday itself. And I don't care what you're putting under the tree or what you're giving for your holiday to anyone. If you are feeling depleted and irritated, it doesn't matter. So consider giving yourself to your friends and family the healthiest, happiest that you can be. And I'm hoping that the tips I'm going to share today will help you to do that. So here are 6 tips to keep the happy in happy holidays. And some of these single tips have multiple layers. So you might have more than 6 when you leave. So tip number 1 is to be aware of the dialogue that's in your head and the words that you are saying. I don't know about you, and maybe just be aware of this in the next few days, but if you're talking to people about, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many things to do. Somebody today said, oh, the holidays suck. And I thought, oh gosh, maybe if that's what you're saying to yourself, that might be what's presenting to itself. So be very aware of the dialogue that you are having in your head and also the words that you are saying. So know that some people are on this continuum. It's almost time to switch from my everyday anxiety to my fancy Christmas anxiety. That's one end of the spectrum. And then the other end of the spectrum is it's the most wonderful time of the year. And maybe you're somewhere in between. But considering what you are saying to yourself and what you are saying out loud is really, really important. Your mind can only hold one thought at a time. Can you make it positive? Can you make it constructive? So on your action guide, maybe consider what you are currently saying, and could you rephrase? So even just jotting down, rephrase what you're saying about the holidays. Yes, it's busy. Yes, there's a lot to do, but what is the joy in there? Can you make that your go-to statement instead of saying, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Oh, I've got so much to do. So consider that and jot down on your action guide or on your note sheet something that you might say if someone says, hey, how's it going? Or how's your holiday season going? And I'll take a moment for you to be able to do that. So being aware of what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying to others makes a huge difference in your attitude and your feeling and your stress level this time of year. Be careful what you tell yourself because you're listening. Moving on, tip number 2, my favorite tip of the season: simplify, simplify, simplify. And I can't stress this enough. And I have to be honest and tell you, this is where I get tripped up the very most because I want it to be all of this. But I have found over these last few years, as I've pared down, I'm finding so much more joy in the season. So what can you give up? What can you not do this year? How can you simplify? Thinking about your to-do list, can you put something on your to-don't list? So I had the fun last year of moving at Christmas. I moved into my new home on December 23rd, and I had to give up a lot. I gave up a lot of my physical belongings when I was moving. I got rid of a lot of Christmas decorations. And then I just really had to simplify the day. I had to tell people, listen, I can't provide that this year, or this year I'm going to go to our local catering spot instead of making that myself. And you know what? It was all okay. And it was a really great lesson for me to know that the world does not fall apart and Christmas doesn't turn to crap if I don't do every single thing that I've always done. So simplifying, thinking about what can you not do this year. On your action guide, perhaps consider what can you go from your to-do to your to-don't this year. And I challenged myself this year, because I simplified so much last year, what can I give up this year? And this year I am not sending out Christmas cards. It is the first time in my adult life I've not done that. And I'm not saying it's forever. I may want to do it again next year. I just didn't want to do it this year. So I'm not doing it. If it didn't bring me joy, I'm not doing it. I've Marie Kondo'd my holidays this year. If you're familiar with Marie Kondo, if it doesn't bring you joy, it's time for it to go. So it didn't bring me joy this year. It's just going. And again, maybe just for this year. If you can't give it up, you want to hold on to this, it's really special to you, can you take a fresh approach? Can you delegate this to-do list or this to-do item? Can you ask others to help you out with this? I used to make all sorts of different Christmas cookies, to make this big platter of Christmas cookies. And then years ago, I decided I was going to hold this big cookie swap. And I cookie swap with a bunch of women, and I have this platter of a variety of cookies. Teamwork makes the dream work. Can you find a to-do that you have and give it a fresh approach to delegate or to invite teamwork? Know that there's no such thing as perfect, and that perfect is the enemy of good. If you're looking for perfect, it's not out there. It's only on Pinterest. It's the only place that is. One of my favorite to-don't tips is to go through your holiday gift list and perhaps think if there is something that you don't need to purchase, but instead to create a memory with that person. So instead of a physical item, giving some of your time or giving them tickets to something that could be a fun memory for them. So the idea of filling your life or your loved ones' lives with experiences and not things, have stories to tell, not stuff to show. And if I learned anything in my moving, the less stuff, the better. So I will share with you that that is definitely my takeaway from my big move. Think about your gift list that you still have. Is there someone that you could give an experience to, whether it's with you or an experience that they can have on their own? I'll give you a couple examples this year. Actually, one person might be watching this, so I'm not going to be specific. But I am giving someone on my gift list a ticket to a Broadway show that I know they are going to love. She's really into theater, and I know she's in plays and she loves to act. And so I am giving her that gift. And I cannot wait to see the look on her face when I give this to her. My nieces, I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old niece, and they have a small apartment. Having more things maybe is not the best choice for them right now. I know they're getting some very special things that they wanted, but instead of adding to those things, I asked my niece, their mom, so I guess they're my great nieces, if I could instead get them a membership to a rock climbing gym that they love to go to in the winter. So I'm going to get them a winter membership to this rock climbing gym. She's thrilled. They're going to be able to enjoy it all winter. And I know it would be a challenge for them to afford to be able to do it as often as they would like. So this way they can. So consider your gift list is part of a to-don't, not to buy an actual gift, but perhaps to give an experience, whether it's with you or something they can do on their own. It's one of my favorite to-don'ts. Tip number 3, if you are a client of mine, you hear me saying this to you quite often when it comes to food and exercise, but I love the idea of doing something today that your future self will say thank you for. What do I mean by that? This time of year, yes, it's busy. So what can you do maybe tonight to prep for the morning, or today to give yourself a little gift tomorrow? And I've got some examples for you. One is packing your bag or your kids' backpacks or your gym bag the night before, so you're not scrambling around in the morning. How about laying out clothes? Maybe you did it when you were younger, and I highly recommend doing this as an adult, even if it's just your gym clothes. Lay them on out, have it ready to go. making some lunches, some healthy lunches, especially if you go to an office and you need to have a quick, healthy lunch. I love the idea of a mason jar salad, although it does not need to be a mason jar salad, but mason jars make everything look cuter. So I like that because it makes people want to grab them and enjoy them at work, but absolutely it does not need to be in this. You can do them in your regular containers that you like to use, but the idea of making 4 or 5 days worth of salads to be able to bring, that's just going to help reduce stress this time of year. When you are making a meal, can you double it? Especially if you know you have company coming. If you're making a soup or a chowder or a stew or a chili, can you double that so that you have a meal ready to go when you have company, or when the crunch of the holiday is closer, you have your dinner ready to go? Can you give yourself that gift? Can you give yourself something, do something today that your tomorrow self will say thank you for? Here's a big one this time of year. Can you stick to your budget? Sticking to your budget will be so important. You can make your own kind of Excel spreadsheet like this, or find one online. There's so many that are already available, and stick with that so January's bills are not going to hit you. Give yourself that gift so your January self says, thank you, December self. I needed to make sure I stood with my budget. And then the idea of wrapping as you go. So as you get some gifts, wrap them up, and then you're not stuck with a bunch at the end. If you are giving a lot of physical gifts, a lot of things to wrap. If you wrap as you go, and I'm a big fan of gift bags, and I use the same ones every year. I ask people, if you're not going to use it, can I have it back? And I have used the same ones for a long time. So just ecologically, that feels good to me, and it's one less to do every year to buy new bags. So big fan of the bags. Number 4. Oh, hold on. Number 3, make sure you've written down something that you've taken away from that list of things that you could do today so that your tomorrow self would say thank you. Number 4, practicing some stress relievers. There is a way to breathe away some stress that I really practice with just about every client. This 4-7-8 method. You exhale completely through your mouth, and then you close your mouth and you inhale quietly for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 7, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. That's one breath, and you do it 4 times. I really highly recommend learning this technique, this 4-7-8 method. And there is a video that I really encourage people to take a look. It's with Dr. Weil. So if you just Google or go on YouTube and just do 4-7-8 breathing technique with Dr. Weil. I don't want to do this now because I promised to keep this webinar a quick lunch and learn for folks. But please know this 4-7-8 breathing technique is effective, and it is always available to you. You have your breath with you everywhere you go. So looking up Dr. Weil 4-7-8 breathing technique, this video will come up, and Santa Claus will bring you through this breathing technique, and it is a gem. I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot explain how many times I use it, and it's great if you can't fall asleep, and it's a fabulous calming technique. One of my favorite stress relieving techniques. And now consider some other stress relieving techniques that have worked for you in the past. Can you bump that up this time of year? Perhaps going to yoga, going outside with a friend is one of my favorite things to suggest to people. Getting outside in nature is such a great stress reliever. And if you match that with a walk with a friend, you've got the exercise stress reliever. Being with a friend is a stress reliever, and nature's a stress reliever. I cannot stress enough how important those 3 are, and just doing that, even for a 10-20 minute walk, will make such a difference for you. Are there other stress relieving techniques you want to jot down that you want to bump up this time of year? Please do so now. I will say that food is something that we often turn to this time of year to help reduce our stress, and I really want to encourage that exercise is such a benefit and no side effects. things. You're only one workout away from a good mood. Make exercise your priority during this busy month, and the time that you put into it will come back to you. And if you can do it outside, even better. Tip number 5, watching your sugar intake. And I know it's everywhere, and I'm going to come back to this idea in just a moment. But sugar specifically, here it is. The more uneven our blood sugar levels, the more uneven our moods are when we get hungry, angry, depressed, and upset, and we can't think clearly. Eating something that's high in sugar turns this back again temporarily. We sure feel good for a little while. However, we soon will crash, and then we feel panicky and wired, and then more sugar is needed to get that same relaxation response, getting us into this vicious circle, this little sugar trap. The more your blood sugar levels fluctuate, the more likely you are to react to life stresses. Yes, like the Christmas lights. So being aware of the sugar, knowing that it is only going to add to this feeling right here, and knowing that you have to weigh it. Is it worth it? And know that the more sugar you have, the more apt you are to want more to get that same relaxation response. Now, that said, there are lots of treats and special foods that are specific only to this time of year. And it might surprise you to learn that I feel very strongly that you should not say no to all of these special things. Notice that I said all, and notice I said special. That's really key. So I want to tell you about this method that I suggest for people to go when they are eating and curious to know if this is something that they want to be eating. So the magic is in the pause. So before you grab for that something, the idea of pausing and asking yourself these questions. Am I hungry? Is this the best choice available? Is it truly special? And how much do I need? All right, let's go through these. Am I hungry? Maybe you can ask yourself, am I hungry? No, I think I'm actually thirsty. Have something to drink, and maybe you don't want the thing. Maybe that doesn't work. Am I hungry? Nope, I'm not hungry. And I'm moving on to the next question. Is this the best choice available? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe if you're at a party or a dinner party or you're at a work event, perhaps it might not be the best choice available. All right, well, let's look around, look a little closer. Oh, there's some fruit, there's some vegetables. Maybe I can have some of that before I choose to have this other thing. So thinking about the choices that are available. This next question, is it truly special? So I'm going to borrow this phrase from Melissa Hartwig, who is the founder of Whole30. And I love this. So when it's Halloween time and people are saying, oh, I'm going to have that Snickers. I need to have that Mars bar, why am I not thinking of candy bar, an Almond Joy or something? I need to have this, it's Halloween and I deserve this, or this is a special time. Well, really are really M&Ms and Snickers bars and Mars bars or Almond Joys, is that really special? Here's Melissa's quote, and I love this. You are a grown-ass woman with a credit card and a car. You can go to any store at any time and get a full-size Snickers bar and get a full-size Almond Joy if that's something you really want. These things are not special at Halloween. They really aren't special. So let's bring it back to Christmas time. Is it truly special? Is a candy cane truly special? Can you never get a candy cane or that peppermint taste any time of year? No, you really can. Is that peanut butter cookie so special? No, you can pretty much get that any other time of the year. But maybe that candy that your aunt makes once a year only comes at Christmas. Maybe that eggnog that Larry makes only comes at Christmas. Maybe your grandmother has a special recipe that you make only at Christmas and it's really special for you. Perhaps the holidays include other foods for you that are specific to your religion, that are special only for this time of year. Then comes the next question. How much do I need? And if I could have lights and blink, 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 blink to this question, I would. How much do I need? And guess what? It's not the whole plate. If you take that special food, so we've gone through the questions. I'm at my aunt's table. She makes a special Italian candy. It's got almonds and nougat. It's so good, you guys. I don't want the recipe because I don't want to make it. I only want to have it when I go to her house and have this. Am I hungry? Nope, I just had a full meal. Is this the best choice available? Nope, she actually has fruit right at the table, but I'm still going on. Is it truly special? Yes, it is. She makes this once a year. My aunt is 90 years old. I'm going to have this candy this year. Is it truly special? Yes. How much do I need? I need one. I really need one. If I just scarf it down, I'm going to look for another one and another one and another one. But if I sit with it and I think about it and I maybe break it into a couple pieces and I really enjoy it and enjoy her company and take in the moment, I really need just one. So these are the questions that I really encourage you to do. Have treats, but have them mindfully. Have them with purpose, not just grabbing that handful of red and green M&Ms that you can get any time of year. There's nothing special about those. But that cup of eggnog that you get one time a year on Christmas Eve, maybe that's special enough. How much do you need? I'll tell you how much you need of that. You need 1 cup. And I've seen what happens when people have more than 1 cup. But have that 1 cup and enjoy the hell out of it and move on, knowing that you had that and you didn't deprive yourself of these very special, memorable foods of the season. All right, jot these 4 questions down. They're winners. They really are. Number 6, getting out of your own way. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. Finding ways to boost your health by helping others. In times of stress, helping others can help you. It lowers your blood pressure and your cortisol levels, that stress hormone, and it provides a great mental boost. The solution is to help out in your community and with others in your family this holiday season, and it will do good for you and others as well. There's some fun calendars, kindness calendars that are out there if you want to kind of follow along with something like this. I love this idea, counting your blessings. That's today. List the kind things others have done for you. If you're looking for something like this, feel free. I like getting any hats or mittens, finding them really inexpensively, or maybe just a surplus that I might have, and I pin on a little note that says, "This isn't lost. If you need it, please take it." And I bring them around and just leave them at places where I think people might find them that might enjoy them. And those little messages of kindness help others, and they also help you. So that is tip number 6, to get out of your own way sometimes and express that kindness in all different ways. And that's really what the holidays are all about for me, and I think for many of you as well. So remember, as you're going through these next few weeks, that you are the greatest gift that you can give anyone this holiday season. And if they need a reminder, go wrap yourself and put yourself under the tree and remind them that you are a gift. Those are my 6 tips that I have for you today. And if you noticed, I snuck in a few others within those 6. I'm hoping you found them to be really helpful. And I want to share now just 2 quick things that can bring you into the new year and that you can start thinking about as you're thinking about 2020, a brand new decade, and how you're going to go into that decade feeling your very best. So one thing that I have for you is this group. It's called Positive Energy Insiders, and it's a private Facebook group I have. We have over 100 members. It's a very active group, and in here I am sharing lots of information about leading a healthy life. I give tips every week where you have little things that I called Surprise and Delight, where there's maybe some prizes or a downloadable or things like that that I only share in this group. So if you are a woman over the age of 40 who is looking to lead a healthy life and wants those little tips of how to build those habits, I encourage you to find our group. You'll request a membership, and I would love to invite you into our group. And the next thing I wanted to share with you is the Whole Life Challenge. If you're not familiar with the Whole Life Challenge, please look this up in YouTube. What is the Whole Life Challenge? And again, not to spend the time here today, I won't show this right now, but this is a really great video. I will post this with the recording so folks can have that available to them, but certainly you can look it up on YouTube. The Whole Life Challenge is a 6-week program. It's all online, and I host a team. I've been doing it for years, and I know this sounds, it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it can be life-changing. It's really a food experiment. Many people do lose weight on this program, but that is not what I want to emphasize in this. I want to emphasize that it is a chance for you to see how different foods affect you physically, affect you mentally, affect your digestion, your aches and pains, your sleep, your mood, all of those things, your skin. So join me if you are interested, if you have more questions. The Whole Life Challenge, I have a team already registered. It's Positive Energy, Fitness, and Health. And I also this year am going to be doing something I'm calling the Even More package. And there'll be details about this in the future, near future. I want to get through the holidays with everyone before I share some of this information, but I'm so excited about this. This is going to include one-on-one health coaching, a cooking group, a extra email that I'll be sharing some extra information, a private Facebook group. This Even More package has a lot that will enhance the Whole Life Challenge experience for those who perhaps have done it in the past and want more, or those who have never done it and would like a little bit more support. So look for more of that information. And those of you that attended live today, I will be putting your names in a hat and contacting you directly to let you know that you have won a registration for the Whole Life Challenge just by participating live here today. So thank you everyone for listening on in. I hope you are walking away with lots of different tips that, again, can get you through these next few weeks, feeling happier with these happy holidays, and definitely beyond, because these tips can really benefit you well beyond this holiday season. I'm wishing you all healthy, happy holidays, and enjoy this special time with those that you love. Thanks again for joining in, and I appreciate you so very much. Thanks, everyone.